Welcome to Brainy Logic. In today's video we are going to talk about the 5 most toxic traits you shouldn't ignore. Enjoy the video. There are many toxic traits you should be aware of when it comes to dating, but some are more toxic than others. Here are the 5 traits you shouldn't ignore no matter how harmless they seem at first glance, because you might end up regretting your decision later on if you do ignore them and allow them to negatively affect your relationship. 1. Inability to be present. Although we all have our own individual way of dealing with the hardships and stressors of life, a certain level of engagement is necessary to keep the relationship going. If your significant other is unable to be present when they're needed, this is definitely a toxic trait that should be addressed. Someone who is trying to put up walls between themselves and others will never open up to you. That doesn't mean that if he or she is depressed or struggling with some other issue, it's too late for them. Just know that getting help for yourself first may allow for the two of you to come back together stronger than ever before. 2. Jealousy. Jealousy is never a good trait to see in your significant other. It stems from insecurity, and when this toxic trait takes over, it can make the relationship very difficult to sustain. You might find yourself fighting about every little thing, or there may be just constant power struggles. That's not what any couple needs. You should have trust, but jealousy brings out the worst and could even lead one of you to think they're above the other or that they need to be better than their significant other. Be careful of these traits when looking for love so that your relationship doesn't suffer. 3. Untrustworthiness. A lack of trust is one of the most toxic traits in a relationship. When someone can't be trusted to do what they say they're going to do, that person becomes more and more untrustworthy with each incident. If you find yourself constantly asking, "Is this real?" or seeing that your significant other never follows through on something they promised to do, then it might be time to break it off. If a person can't even be trusted enough with their word, how can they be relied upon for anything else? 4. Emotional detachment. One of the more difficult toxic traits to identify is emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is not limited to an absence of empathy for other people's feelings. It often manifests as outright callousness. Narcissists and sociopaths are known for being emotionally detached from others. And when people like this are partnered with somebody who isn't, they can make their partner's life miserable by criticizing them, withholding affection, withdrawing during conflicts, judging them, or making fun of them. 5. Controlling behavior. Someone who tries to control every aspect of your life, from what you wear, to what you do with your time, to who you hang out with and talk to. People who are controlling are never satisfied. The more power they have over the relationship, the more it unravels. Control is a very toxic trait people deal with because it doesn't allow for any freedom or development outside of themselves. They might try controlling your contact list on social media, monitoring where you are and how long it took to reply, or checking up on what's being said in private conversations between friends. Controlling people tend to use whatever means necessary to get their way. Well, that's all for today's video about the 5 most toxic traits you shouldn't ignore in a partner. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and to also hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we release another video. See you next time on Brainy Logic.